Hi everyone, I am Heather, and I want to welcome you to Magnificent Authors Podcast, brought to you by Magnificent Mamas. This is the show where we'll celebrate the magic of storytelling and the power of words. I'm your host, Heather, and each week I'll be sitting down with incredible authors from all walks of life to explore their creative journeys, uncover their writing secrets, and delve into worlds they create. Whether you are an aspiring writer, a passionate reader, or simply curious about the minds behind your favorite books, this is the podcast for you. So grab a cozy blanket, pour yourself a cup of tea, and get ready to be inspired by the magnificent authors who join us. Let's dive in. Hi everyone, it's Heather here with Magnificent Mamas and Magnificent Authors Podcast. We are joined with author Leland Locke today. Leland, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I'm Leland Locke, author known A.L. Locke. That's what's on my books, and I'm being recorded from North Carolina. So, hello, everyone.
Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your books?
Yeah, I have 3 volumes published and available right now. Notes from the Night Desk, and the third one's called "You Can't Blame Good Sex on a Puppy." Notes from the Night Desk, Volume 3, and they're little literary micro memoirs, just little short stories about my life. Also, a little bit of literary histories in a lot of them. Some of them read kind of like a student essay about certain authors or certain subjects. Like I have one. I call it a column because they started off as online columns about the history of the Earl of Sandwich, and that's how we ended up calling sandwiches sandwiches. And he was a really horrible man, by the way. I mean, he's the textbook definition of a libertine.
Oh, wow.
But I started off doing these as kind of an exercise. My sister years ago asked me, why don't you do a blog? And of course, me being a writer, I'm like, I'm not going to do a blog, that's blah. And then I found out a blog is just basically an online column. And one of my dream jobs is to be a columnist, just to have a daily column in a newspaper or magazine. And that's kind of becoming a defunct, so everything's online. But I am a feature columnist for a literary magazine called Night Owl Narrative. And that's available online if anyone's interested. And I pretty much have carte blanche and can write whatever I want to on that column. But the books are just a collection of those. A 4th one should be coming out either the end of this month or the beginning of next month, and that's called Days on the Mountain.
Days on the Mountain.
Yes, I moved to a cabin in North Carolina. It's on top of a mountain, Mount Sinai, and it's notes from the night desk to Days on the Mountain.
Okay.
But in a way, it's kind of evolutionary.
So it's like a series.
Yeah, and kind of like if I were to compare it, like Dave Barry from Miami, Florida. I mean, it's just he does columns about his daily life or about a subject, and that's what I wanted to do. And I have a novel manuscript that I've pitched to different people, and that's going to be coming out as soon as a publisher. I have a publisher interested. I don't know if I want to go with them, but I do more than just the micro memoirs.
Yeah. So mainly real life, real events, things like that.
Yeah, I have everything from my wonderful wife. She has a thing for possums, the night creature, and I have a column in there about us going and looking at roadkill, trying to find baby possums in the pouches, and we save them and nurse them back to health, and it's cool. Pretty interesting.
That's nice. So you guys definitely care about animals as well.
We have 13 dogs. 9 of them are Great Pyrenees.
Oh, wow.
And they're huge dogs. There are more than several stories in there about peers. My favorite one's called Peer Pressure. And these dogs are so wonderful, but they're very demanding of attention and affection. They're very intelligent dogs, and they'll put their paw on you when they really want attention and put pressure on you, peer pressure.
Wow.
And, they're very, very, very sweet. In fact, we just got 2 puppies about 4 weeks ago, and we call them the Badger Brothers.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we have a dog. His name is Vader, like from Star Wars.
Well, yeah, I figure.
And he is actually a pit lab Cane Corso mix.
King Corso.
Yeah.
Wow.
So his dad was a pit in Cane Corso, and his mom is a lab. And you see a little bit of all of those breeds in him when you look at him.
Mm.
And he's so funny because he does, like, he'll put his paw on you like you were describing your dogs, and it'll be like, okay. Or he'll try to, like, smack you.
Yes.
And, like, get you, like, to give him attention.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to give hugs, and he's just so funny. He's got a vibrant personality and thinks everyone is his best friend.
Of course. The one peer that we have, her name is Greta, and I call her my Velcro peer, as in she's like a piece of Velcro, and she is stuck to me.
Yep.
And she'll be laying next to me on the couch, and I'll be trying to work, write, and she's smacking my hand away from the keyboard, putting her nose underneath me and trying to get my attention. And her, she was almost all of our dogs are rescues.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason here in North Carolina, I don't know if it's like that in other states, but a lot of people get this breed and they send them to kill shelters. I mean, they're very, like I said, very needy for affection. They're nocturnal and they bark. Their main job is to herd animals and to protect animals. And we lived on a farm before we moved here up on the mountain, and they protected the goats and pigs and everything like that. But we went to a shelter because one of our dogs went missing, and we went to go see if it was there at the shelter. And I looked, and there's this beautiful, beautiful Great Pyrenees. And I'm like, oh, wow, what's her story? It's like, well, she's been here for 10 days. 11 days is the stretch. Tomorrow she's being killed. And I went, hashtag, no, she's not. And I'm like, get her out. She's mine. And she's been my best friend ever since. Like, she will sleep like right here on my head. And this is a 110-pound dog,
Oh, yeah. That's wild. I'm looking at pictures of them, and they are so beautiful.
Oh, okay, cool.
I love animals, though. So, like, I think if I could take every animal home with me, I would.
And it leaks a lot in my writing. In fact, in another volume, I think it's volume 2. There's a column a story called Polar Wolves. And that's what we call them, is our polar wolves, because they're all white and big. And one day it snowed here in North Carolina, and they were rolling around in the snow. And I'm like, they're polar wolves.
That's funny. Yeah, I can see that. My dog, I think he loves the cold and doesn't mind being outside in the cold or the hot. And he's a short-haired dog, so I find that hilarious.
Yeah, well, these dogs are their environment is cold up in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I forget what country, but it's close to France on the border of Spain. But they are mountain dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
But so yeah, there's a lot of domestic writing. The first volume, it was very cathartic. I wrote it in a short span of about 3 months. For 3 years, I was homeless in Youngstown, Ohio, and there's some stories in there that aren't very pleasant. And I decided to focus more after that period was over with on things that are positive. A little positive spin on things, because all of us have bad days.
Oh, definitely. Would you say your books are geared towards adults, or can young adults read them?
I try to, well, especially in the beginning, I tried to make it very PG, and then as I've gone further into things, there are some more adult stories. Nothing that a 16-year-old can't read. There's nothing sexually explicit. I mean, some of the stories do involve drugs and alcohol, but I'm not. It's nothing that I endorse or anything like that. It's just more, this is what happened to me. This is what I did, and here's
a life experience, and I totally understand that.
Because I feel very responsible on how my writing reflects my image, and I know that people, a lot of people, will look up to that, and I think that an artist has responsibility on how they are and how other people will react to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you see me smoking and everything, but I don't want people to smoke. And I feel bad that
You know
I don't
what
want a kid
is
to see. I
really
don't want a kid to
funny?
see it and start smoking.
I told you off screen that I worked in healthcare
Yes.
before, and I went over 30 years without smoking. I got my husband to quit smoking, everything like that. And working in healthcare, it was the only way I could get a break was to
Oh,
be a smoker.
yes. Yes. Uh, 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 well, I guess I'll be honest in this interview. Uh, I look up to a lot of different people. Literary. Well, only one that wasn't literary, but when I was young and foolish, I decided to take on their challenge, which was do as much drugs and alcohol and as I possibly could, and you have to pay a price for that. It sometimes is the price is more than a person could bear.
Yeah. And
I spent my time in enough rehabs and jail cells that I'll never want to go back.
That's good though. I mean, that's good if it helps you.
Yeah.
It doesn't help everybody.
Yeah. I basically stated when I was done, I'm like, I'm done. Leave this behind and start building. And I started building up. I started posting these little stories online, and someone from my past, someone that I grew up with, she started reading them and got in contact with me, and well, now we're married. And
well, that's awesome.
Yes, she is the best, and I really wish someone would have punched me in the face when I was 14, because apparently she's been in love with me since she was 13.
Oh wow.
Yes, that's so and I'm 40 now, and
that is a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time to be pining for someone. I owe her so much, and actually today is our wedding anniversary. We got married on April 1st.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting. Congrats.
Some people say that, oh, you got married on April Fool's Day, and I'm like, no, I got married on the day that John Wilmot, the second Earl of Rochester, was born, who was a famous poet in England during the 1600s.
So what you mentioned, you enjoy poetry. What other books do you like to read?
Poetry. I haven't read a lot of poetry recently, but the poets that I love, that I actually named my son after, was Arthur Rimbaud. It was the French enfant terrible. He forever changed the face of poetry, and he only wrote from the ages of 16 to 19, and he's very, very good. But as far as reading, I'll pretty much read anything right now. I'm what am I reading right now? I just finished a book that was a history on alcoholism and the American writer called The Thirsty Muse. And it concentrated on William Faulkner, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, and Eugene O'Neill. And
famous names there.
Huh?
I said a bunch of famous names there.
Oh yes. And I bought all of Eugene O'Neill's works. The Library of America has a great 3-volume collection of his plays, and I was unfamiliar with O'Neill, and I want to yell at myself because I wasn't familiar with him. And so right now I'm also reading The Iceman Cometh by him, and it's really good. And he ended up unlike the other 3, he quit drinking. He actually quit drinking and he wrote his best stuff later on in life while sober.
Okay.
So, and the other ones, well, they never got out of their
funk.
Yeah, they just never got out.
And unfortunately that happens. And sometimes, people can live, be functioning alcoholics or functioning drug users, and some people cannot.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, very, very, very true. And those that can make it work for them, good for them, and I don't hold anything, against them. The others, God help you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's right or wrong.
Same here, and I don't judge anyone on what they do.
Nope, not at all.
I mean, don't come into my house with crystal meth or heroin. I'll kick your ass and throw your ass out. you know, but no, I don't want to say that I'm for or against anything. I'm kind of a contrarian in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I know the interview is supposed to be about me, but I'm going to ask you, what have you currently been reading? Because I support reading literature, the whole entire thing. In fact, I just did a book signing and did a reading here in North Carolina, the North Carolina Writers Book Fair. And if anyone is interested, yeah, you could look at my Facebook and you can see me reading, which I can't believe that I am promoting this, because reading is something I usually don't do. It's the first time I've did it since I was maybe 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did a reading when I was 19 in Philadelphia, and then fast forward, I did one like 2 weekends ago.
Okay. Well, this is what I'm reading. It's called The House Across the Road. It's a book of short stories by Dave Schwartz.
Okay. Independent author.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to show my support for my indie authors. I love them.
Well, you're talking to an indie author right now, so.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually, when he sent me this, he's a musician too, but he signed, I'm going to try and see, like, hold on. He signed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. And so that just meant the world to me. Like, I think that was my first signed copy of a book.
Well, after this is over, give me your address. I'll send you signed editions of all my books.
All right, yeah.
I keep a vast correspondence. I'll even type you up a letter.
Okay. Well, definitely, yeah. I love reading different genres. So this is kind like, I read a short-ish horror story, but it wasn't short stories,
Okay.
recently before this. And now I'm reading this, and it's different. I've never read anything quite like this before. But it's good. So I'm not super far into it enough to where I could offer, opinions or tell you too much. I've only read 23 pages.
Okay.
So I'm still working my way through it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a second for promotion. Everyone who's reading, you can't blame good sex on a puppy. Just please pick it up.
Yeah, for sure. Share. You can read a little bit from it if you want, or tell us more.
No, I'm not going to do that. But you get the reason for the title in the reading that I did a couple weekends ago. So if anyone wants to go on either my Facebook or my wife's Facebook, I know that my wife has it up there. Yeah. So just look up Leland Locke or Tara Locke.
Okay.
Tara.
Nice.
Yeah, this is. I feel really weird self-promoting. I really do. I'm the worst promoter in the world. I'm the worst marketer in the world.
A lot of authors say that, and a lot of authors, they get that feeling like promoting somebody else is okay, but promoting myself.
Yeah, it makes me feel guilty. It does, because the last thing I want to do is say, yeah, I'm the shit. It makes me feel like I'm patting myself on the back or something. And that's something I don't do at all.
Yeah, I get it. I spend all this time networking with authors and helping promote authors. And then when it comes to my writing, I'm just like, when I'm ready later, I'll promote. Right now, I'm just going to do what I do best. And that's, talking to the authors and helping the authors get their books out there, and that's what matters to me. So I love it.
And yeah, and you're a saint for doing it. Seriously, this it was just really cool when I decided to do this, because I'm like, I just want to talk to this person just to find out why they're promoting authors. That's just a cool, and that's like the journalist in me coming out. Where I'm like, I had to remind myself not to talk to you as a journalist, to ask you to turn the interview around on you. That's really what I want to do right now.
Oh, I understand. I get it.
I've been interviewing people a lot. I worked for a newspaper in Missoula, Montana, and that's basically what I did, was interview people that were starting local businesses.
Okay.
And I just interviewed a North Carolina filmmaker 2 weeks ago. and I'm gonna be throwing kind of help him and having that be in my column for the magazine.
Well, that is very cool. Is it just for North Carolina, or is it
The magazine?
the people that you're featuring?
No, they could be from anywhere. I'll pretty much talk to anyone. I interviewed an author that was based out of New York, and I did my first Skype interview with her. And
Nice.
yeah, and she was a blast. And you could find that interview, that story on gogonzojournal.com.
Okay.
A man named Anthony does that, and he has some a couple of my pieces published on his website.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. We will totally do that. Also, I usually tell you at the end of this, but your links to your socials, your book, that kind of stuff will all be posted on our website when we air this as well. So
awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And if anyone wants to get in contact with me, that put my email down there, and I will respond to inquiries or queries, not inquiries, but
it's nice to know that some authors actually do respond to stuff.
Yes.
I saw a video once where an author straight up said she didn't respond to any messages or emails or anything. And I was like, how do you do that? Like, when you have fans and stuff that are emailing you or messaging you, how do you ignore them?
Yeah. I mean, I'll even respond to hate mail. I've only had like one hate mail, but I even responded to that, and I kind of responded with thank you for reading.
Yeah.
I think the author's job or the artist's job, I think, when it comes to the big picture, is to affect people. Whether that's in a negative way or in a positive way is kind of irrelevant as long as it affects people.
Yeah, I agree. And what some people are going to enjoy, others won't. And that's why we're different, and we need to embrace that.
Yes.
Our differences and our diversities.
Yes. I think it should all just be, a question of, what someone likes or doesn't like, or why they like it and don't like it. That is the important thing to discuss, and to not damn someone or be against someone, because I'm not. Well, some things I'm against, but most of the time, like I say, I'm a contrarian. I want to hear other people's reactions to things and why they have those reactions.
Yeah, definitely. It's important. And if we were all the same, life would just be so boring.
What was it? Forrest Gump's mom said to little Forrest, if God intended for all of us to be the same, we'd all have braces on our legs. I mean, I'm quoting Forrest Gump, but it's a good message.
It is. It really is. And it's about the messages we put out there, and not about, creating, what's the word, like, not trying to be the same as everyone else, and just embracing, like I said, embracing the differences. That's important, I think.
Well, yeah, embracing differences is completely important. But I think there are certain sections of the population now that they're embracing who they are and yet excluding others. I don't believe in the exclusion. I believe totally in inclusion, and I actually believe in I'm not trying to get political at all, but I actually believe in a United States. I'd like for more of us to actually be united and not. So different, so diverse that we exclude.
Yeah.
Oh, you can quote me on that. So diverse, but not exclude.
I agree. That's a wonderful message. It's a wonderful way of thinking.
Yeah. And I love having different, types of friends. I'm really surprised on how my life has switched, where I have friends who are police officers, first responders, and then, past friends who are, drug dealers, and just kind of having that, a melting pot of different people is kind of a blessing, because
I bet.
And if you can get those people in the same room together, it's very fascinating.
I would think so too. I would think it would be very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. So where are you based out of again? I'm sorry, I did
I'm
say
in southern Indiana.
Southern Indiana. That's right. Yeah. Uh, oh, Indiana. Stay. I'm sure you know. Stay away from Gary.
I'm not even gonna ask why, but I probably
You know why. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've been all around the United States. So yeah, Gary, Indiana is interesting.
Yeah. I live in the southern part, so I'm about an hour from Illinois and an hour from Kentucky, so
Okay.
it's definitely interesting.
It's funny because the magazine I work for, they're based out of Illinois,
Mhm.
and I was in Louisville, Kentucky, last year for Gonzo Fest, honoring the writing of Dr. Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay.
So
That was,
that was the second time that I went to a Gonzo Fest. It was really good.
I've never been to one.
Well, this year they're having it in Dublin,
Nice.
so
I would love to.
I might be going overseas this year.
That would be exciting. My dream place to visit would be Ireland.
Yes, I'll tell my friend Doc that his name is Rory Patrick Fian, and he's a Hunter S. Thompson scholar, and he's based out of Ireland. That's why they're having the festival there, because he's a part of the production.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be like my dream vacation, like the one place I've always wanted to visit all my life.
Mine is Key West.
My cousin used to live in Key West. It sounds very different.
My goal is to retire at 50 and move to Key West. Not that I'll ever stop writing, but to financially be able to retire
it's not a possibility once you discover that passion. I feel like that's just ingrained into your soul on who you are.
Yeah.
I think
With me, it took Ernest Hemingway to realize that I was a writer, to actually say that, oh wow, I'm a writer. I was about 16 years old, and I was reading his A Movable Feast. And in the book, he was just describing, it was when he was younger, when he was in his 20s living in Paris. And he would just talk about going to cafes and bars, and he'd take his notebook and just write. At that time, I was going to coffee shops and writing in notebooks. I'm like, huh, holy shit, I'm doing what he did. Okay, I guess I'm a writer. Time to get a typewriter.
yeah, I think, we sometimes we don't feel so worthy comparing ourselves to other writers, especially when you're first starting out. Like, you don't expect people to enjoy it. You don't expect people to want to follow your writing. And I don't know if that's a little bit of the imposter syndrome or whatnot, but it's an amazing feeling when somebody reads your work and they love it. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, I had to wait for that until I was in college. And I was turning in essays, and I got a remark back from a professor that said, wow, you can really write. And I was like, boom, yeah, yes. So I guess I got to go with that.
Nice.
I forget what I was even majoring in at the time, because it was like my first year in college.
Yeah, so a couple majors in.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
I think I was going in for education at that point.
Yeah. I think when I went to college, like, I didn't finish, and I'd love to go back, but it was undecided because there's just so much I'd love to learn about.
Mm.
Now I'd probably go back for, I'd say business, but
No.
I don't even think I would.
No, look at what you're doing. What I would prescribe. This is a prescription. Okay.
Okay.
I'm the doctor, and this is your prescription. Go into broadcasting.
Okay.
Because you obviously have a knack for it. You have a passion for it, enough to seek out other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had to have that confidence. You sought me out, and I responded.
Yeah.
You already have a platform. So yeah, I'd go with that.
You know, it's so funny because when I first started thinking about doing a podcast with authors, I was like, well, I'll post it in a couple groups and see what people say, if anyone's interested or not.
Mhm.
And then it was like kaboom, like 200 people signed up to
Good.
be interviewed. I was like, oh my gosh, I never in a million years would have thought I would have gotten that much of a response rate.
Well, that, and when you think about how many people, I think right now more books are being published than ever before because
Oh yeah.
it's so available, and yet the actual author, it takes a lot for people to get to know the author, you know, and there are a lot of us, you know, and
There is, and there's
I'd like
more
to see
every
it back.
day.
I'd like to see it back in the days where authors were the rock stars, you know, or
Well, they are the rock stars to me, so.
oh, awesome, good. And you probably got the most controversial one right now on your show. But to actually delve into it, yes.
Good deal.
But yeah, I really think that people need to or should get to know the authors a little bit more.
I
You know,
agree.
and speaking speaking for me, I would love to get to know the people that read my work. You know, and I'll talk, and like I said, I'll respond to emails, I'll respond to phone calls, and just
That's
share.
awesome.
Yeah, and
That
especially
is
if someone needs like any kind of help. You know, they're like, "Well, I'm writing. I'd like some." I'd be like, "All right, what do you got, kid?" You know, let's break this down.
Yeah, definitely. What kind of tips do you have for aspiring writers?
Don't give up. And just when you think that things can't get any worse, believe me, they're going to get worse. But it's all about the comeback. I mean, really, just don't ever stop. And what's important is how you feel about your work. I mean, whether or not other people like it, whether or not it sells, it's about what you want out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense completely.
I mean, I've a couple of nights ago, I wrote something down. There was just a couple of pages that I know I'm not going to publish, you know, but it worked for me at that time. It's what I needed to write. It's the screaming inside of me that needed to come out.
Yeah, I get that completely. I am going to have to get ready to wrap up, unfortunately, because I have another call in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But I want to thank you so much for being on our show today and for connecting and just letting us into your world a little bit and to get to know you.
Okay. And all of y'all and you contact me anytime. It's an open invite, and all you writers that are out there, we all write bad shit. All right, not everything is going to be great. So, and the difference between a successful writer and a non-successful writer is accepting that we write bad shit. And when we write something good, that's what we need to stick with. And on that, boom, end note. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much. I mean, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Goodbye.
All right, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you. And that's a wrap on another episode of Magnificent Authors Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to share another inspiring conversation with a talented author. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Magnificent Authors Podcast so you don't miss any of our upcoming conversations with amazing writers. And be sure to check out Magnificent Mamas on our website, which is www.magnificentmamas.us, or on our Facebook page for more inspiring content from incredible authors. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. What resonated with you the most? Head over to Facebook or leave a comment on our website and let me know. Until next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep those imaginations soaring.